I'm Sean.
This is Toon.
And we are the Courageour Frights, back once again for another movie review.
Yes.
So this time we're doing the monster movie Sting.
Yes.
So this is about an alien spider causing mayhem in an apartment complex.
Yes, with a lot of references to other movies.
Yes. Yeah, lots of references to other movies. This is actually an Australian film, which about a giant killer spider might not be surprising.
Yeah.
However, for some reason, this has Evil Dead Rise vibes in the sense that for some reason it was an Australian or New Zealand film set in the US for some reason.
Yeah.
And they inexplicably cast all Australians, but they're all pretending to be Americans.
Yeah. With actually pretty decent accents, actually.
Which, I didn't mind. Yeah, I thought it was fine.
They sounded like Americans, so it's not
Yeah, I wasn't that distracted in Evil Dead Rise either. I know other people were, but Red Letter Media had some issues with the accent.
Oh, did I didn't?
But I didn't really. It didn't bother me that much.
Yeah.
This I didn't realize until just now. We watched this movie last week, actually, but I didn't realize till just now that they weren't Americans. That everybody was Australian. But so good job on the accents, guys.
Yeah.
I just don't know why.
Yeah.
Because apparently no one watched this movie because it was only released in, I guess, 975 theaters worldwide.
Crazy. And it didn't get very much. It only made $825,000 in 5 days.
Right. So apparently, like, no one knows this exists. Very few people do.
We do a podcast, and the reason why we even knew it existed because we did the podcast and it was coming out.
Yeah, we knew about the movie, but we just coincidentally happened to be at a convention that day.
And that it had like the only theater. I mean, granted, it was a rundown theater.
No, it was a garbage theater. It was a theater. We went to see it in a theater in the mall from, what was that, Kane Pixels?
Yeah, Kane Pixels, the oldest
view or whatever the heck it is. Yeah, that's the mall we went to see. We went to see it with that rolling giant guy.
He was there.
He was there. It was pretty bad. It looked like that. This movie was hard to see.
Yeah.
Not because necessarily it was too dark. I mean, it was dark in some points, but because our screen had the Big Dipper projected across the entire screen.
I think it had holes in the screen.
Yeah, there was a bunch of holes in the screen. It looked like a constellation.
Yeah, it was weird. I was like, what is going on?
Viewing the film through a bunch of stars.
Especially when half your film is dark, in dark settings. It's like...
Anytime it got dark, it was terrible.
Yeah, it was not good.
You could see all the holes in the screen. It wasn't noticeable when it was light, but... As soon as it got dark, it got bad. So anyway, if you saw the trailer for Sting, you know that this is basically about a giant spider. It doesn't get too giant. It's like, if you remember the original Jumanji, when the spiders come out and they're like, like dog-sized or something like that. That's like how big this gets. Yeah. But it has apparent super strength. It has the superpower of whistling. Yeah.
It can, like, mimic people's voices or something.
It can mimic. It has the whistle and, just, like, webbing type stuff.
Yeah, it's like some weird webbing that... That was one thing I didn't understand. Like, was it, like, poisonous webbing or something? Because it was like, don't touch the web, but when he touched it, his hands was, like, cut up really bad. So I don't understand that.
Yeah, it's probably some kind of webbing, like some kind of special...
Like it's like acidic webbing.
Acidic webbing, almost like the mist and the spiders with the acid web, but not that strong, because the guy was wrapped up in it.
Yeah, he was wrapped up in it, but then his hands were the only parts that were having, like, issues. Like, everything else was fine.
I don't know. Some of the stuff falls apart. I mean, I'm a huge fan of creature features. Yeah. And, like, monster movies and stuff like that. So I'll give this points for that. It had... mostly what seemed like practical effects.
Yeah, the final part is pretty... That seemed like it was all practical. It was pretty good.
The spider itself was very well done.
Yeah.
The acting is uneven, but they're all doing accents.
Yeah, because you have... One character is obviously like the comedic relief or whatever. He's like the bug guy. Like
I think he was the only American in the movie, actually.
Yeah, he was definitely the comedic relief. Which I think he actually is a comedian. It's Jermaine Fowler. Yeah. I think he actually is a comedian, but he was obviously the comedic relief in this movie.
Right.
Because it's really weird how this movie starts, because it goes from like shows like when he like the blizzard's going and he comes to this thing and then something happens and then it says 4 days later, like before
4 days
then
earlier.
it starts.
Yeah.
Then it starts and it's like it goes backwards.
We had some old people in the theater with us that were like confused by this.
Yeah.
Because the guy like seemingly dies and then he comes back in the next scene and like later in the movie and they're like, I thought he died. It's like, well, it said 4 days earlier.
Yeah, 4 days earlier. He was still alive at that point.
It's like, try to keep up.
Yeah.
It's a super complicated movie, I know. But
it's because this movie's more like a family drama with a spider in it.
Spider, yeah.
Because all the third act is all the alien spider, but leading up to it's all family drama.
Yeah, it's family drama, but it's made by a guy who I'm actually familiar with this guy, and I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
I think his name's Kiah Roache-Turner is the director.
And I think this is their first movie, I'm pretty sure.
No, actually, they were in... I was going to say, I'm familiar with this guy because he was the director of Wormwood, which is a zombie movie in Australia that I have.
Maybe that might have been like their first movie. This must be their second movie or something.
Yeah, something. Well, I actually made that about 11 years ago. So they made Wormwood, Road of the Dead, Stella, which I haven't
they made a lot of movies then. I wonder why that was.
Wormwood Apocalypse, which I didn't know also came out a couple of years ago. Necrotronic, which I think I've heard of, actually.
Necrotronic?
And Damon Runner, which was a short. So they have actually made quite a bit, but I have seen Wormwood, Road of the Dead. I have it on like DVD or something. So I'm actually familiar with this guy and didn't realize he was the one that directed this.
Yeah.
And, like, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's not great. It's just kind of okay. I have much higher expectations for the French one was out, which is, I can't remember what that's even called.
It's called like Infestation or something, which that looks like actual spiders and stuff.
Yeah, that's coming out on Shudder, I think, next week or something.
Yeah.
So we'll probably check that one out when we go see Alien again. Speaking of Alien, this movie has a bunch of Alien references. Yeah. It has a Predator reference. It has Terminator reference.
It also has like a Mad Scientist reference.
Yeah.
With Danny Kim.
Yes. There's like a Korean dude.
Yeah, he's like, feed. He's like, feed. Get stronger. Yeah. That's what he does. He looks at the camera like, feed. Get stronger.
We should do a remake of this. We'll cast
Who's
you.
Next?
You could play Eric.
Yeah. And he's like feeding the spider in this terrarium. Like, because early in the movie, because he's like a biologist or something.
Yeah.
Or like a student studying biology.
He's like like you said, he's like a mad scientist. Yeah, he's basically like a biologist who got kicked out of school or something. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah, because he has a bunch of fish. Because there was like Jermaine Fowler. He's like an exterminator, so he's going around the room. He's like, "What do you do again?" He's like, "I've been trying to cure like diabetes with fish guts."
Fish guts.
Like,
I thought he was gonna say he's developing like the oxygen destroyer or something.
So the girl character goes up because she knows that he's like a biologist major or something in school, and she's like, "What is this?" And he's like, "I've never seen this spider before. Where'd you get this again?"
Yeah.
It's like, I need to intimately put this in terrarium. You cannot be here when you do this.
It's a very intimate process.
And that's when he's like at the terrarium, and this thing's like, he's like feeding it like rats and stuff, and he's like, feed. He
says like a bunch of rabbits and stuff and like random animals.
Yeah, he's like
feeding to it.
Feed, get stronger. Just so weird.
It almost kind of reminded me of Tarantula, like the 50s movie, because that movie, the scientist has like rats and a rabbit and stuff like that in there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty wild. I mean, the creature is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like I said, the practical effects were awesome. I actually enjoyed this.
Yeah,
it's not, you just can't take it seriously.
Yeah, it's not a serious movie. Like, it's not bad. Like, it's not a bad movie.
No.
It's
very derivative of other movies.
Yeah.
Especially 80s
It's
sci-fi.
like they took a lot of the popular tropes, maybe, or maybe just movies in general, and just kind of try to take something out of all those movies.
Yeah.
And put it into this.
Right.
Even though the one gruesome scene there, that first kill.
Okay, yeah, gruesome. Let's talk about that. I guess nobody's going to watch this movie, so we'll just talk about it. There's only one really obvious kill. Well, two, I guess, but there's only one that's like really the first kill.
Yeah.
Well, first human kill. He kills like a parrot or something first. But the first human kill is like unnecessarily violent compared to everything else that happens. Like when that first kill happened, I thought we were in for a real gore fest.
Yeah.
And I almost got pissed off that we didn't.
Yeah.
Because all the other kills are either not kills, or they're like, because most of them are like implied that he's tying them up for feeding later or something.
Because like a spider, he kind of like injects them with whatever.
It's enzymes. Like the xenomorph almost, because he's like got them tied up to the wall and they're webbing.
And then he kills, and like basically eats them, like basically eats living fresh flesh later.
Yeah, and it was one of those scenes where a guy was like webbed up to the wall and they're like, kill me.
Yeah.
It was like from Alien, basically. Yeah. But my problem is, there's this lady that lives in the one apartment, like downstairs or something. And she's like this Hispanic woman that her family just died in like a car accident or something.
Yeah.
And she's telling the main character, he's like an artist or whatever, he's having trouble with his family, to like, appreciate what you got.
Yeah.
Like while you've got it. So she's this woman that's just like suffering.
Yeah,
she's an alcoholic, but
drinking alcohol.
She's a drunk because she just lost her husband and her kids and all this other shit. And then the spider kills her in the most like horrifically gruesome way. And it was like, why?
Yeah, because like the spider like goes into her mouth.
Yeah,
like it injects her, like basically paralyzes her with like his venom or something.
Yeah, like bites her, and then she falls backwards, hits her head like on the toilet or the bathtub or something.
Yeah.
And then while she's paralyzed on the ground, it like crawls into her mouth and then crawls down her throat.
Yeah.
And then bursts out of her chest like the xenomorph.
Yeah.
And it is like, what the fuck? Like, and then that never happens again.
Yeah, that was like it. That was they put that budget in for that specific kill.
And it was like, it almost made me mad because I just like felt sorry for her.
Yeah, because it was like that first kill, and then it kind of goes into like more like family drama stuff.
Yeah, I would have been okay with it if all the other characters had also died like that. Then it would have been kind of like, this is just a showcase of what's to come.
Yeah.
Which I kind of thought it would be.
Because the one character that I'm surprised they didn't do it on was like
the
old
German lady.
Yeah, because she's like obviously like the really
kind of villain.
Yeah, she's not a very good landlord. She's one of those like stereotypical landlords that like I'm not paying for anything.
Pay me rent.
Pay me rent. Yeah, just like and doesn't do anything for anyone. Is like you're not working hard enough or whatever.
Yeah, I don't even know if she died. Like if she died, it was like almost off screen.
Yeah, because she was in the like the tunnels, and then that was like it.
She was wrapped up. I don't know if she died. That's like that Eric guy. He was like stuck to the ceiling.
Yeah,
but we don't know if he died or not.
They probably left him there because
he starved to death up on the ceiling.
Yeah,
but like. See, that's my problem with that movie, though, because that actually made me mad because it was like a sympathetic character.
Yeah.
And then you brutally killed her.
Yeah, and they just like don't care about it.
But don't do it to anybody else.
Yeah.
See, that was the issue I had with that. Like, I wouldn't have minded it if everybody died in a brutal way. But, like, it just felt weird and out of place that they saved the worst kill for this poor lady.
Yeah.
Who hasn't hurt anyone.
Screw your family.
But meanwhile, the actual, like, villain, if you want to call her that, like, nothing.
Yeah, nothing happens. You don't ever see if she actually even died. Her cat died, I guess.
I guess.
Counts.
Yeah. It was, like, strung up inside the...
Like
this had your favorite trope, too.
What's it?
The ventilation ducts that are, like, 8 foot
wide.
Oh,
yeah, you can just, like, crawl around in the ventilation duct. It's like Solid Snake.
Yeah. Meanwhile, like, most places, ventilation ducts are, like, this big.
Yeah, because you have, like, dogs crawling around in it, and, like...
The girls, like, crawling...
She's, like, breaking into people's apartments.
Yeah, it's like the... They're always trying to do the scene from Alien, where everybody's crawling around the ventilation ducts, but the ventilation ducts in Alien are huge because they're on a space station that's, like, the size of a country.
Yeah. This one's, like, apartment complex. It's not very big.
No.
And you're just, like, crawling down the ventilation ducts. It's like, what?
In New York City, Australia.
Yeah, in New York City, Australia.
New York City, Australia.
Yeah.
Which is trapped in the biggest blizzard the world's ever seen.
Yeah, because they're like, we can't leave here because it's a blizzard.
Yeah, they're acting like they're like in upstate Maine or like Canada or Aomori, Japan.
Yeah.
But yeah, because New York rarely ever gets a storm that intense.
Yeah, to where it's like horrible.
You can't get out of your apartment.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's got problems for sure, but overall, I felt it was fine.
Yeah, it was fine. I know they set up for a sequel because I guess we've been doing.
Well,
spoilers.
they did the usual like monster movie trope where an egg hatches.
Yeah, like the very last scene is an egg hatches, and then you hear like screeches or whatever.
You hear that whistling again.
Yeah.
Whistle. The whistle?
The whistle?
Anybody watch this, go check out the big green dub.
Yeah, big green dub.
No, that's the speedy dub, actually.
Yeah, that's the speedy dub.
The speedy dub of Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z, yeah.
You'll understand all about the whistle.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think that's going to do it for Sting.
Yes.
So, I don't think you can go out and watch this.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be on like
done.
Shudder or something. I don't know. I don't even know if this is even coming up on Shudder or any type of...
I don't know where this is at. I don't know where you can see this movie, unfortunately, because I think it's out of theaters, pretty much.
Yeah, because I think if it only had 5 days and that much, probably it's not in the theaters anymore.
Yeah, it's probably already out of theaters. It'll be on streaming somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So if you liked this video, hit that like button. If you did somehow see Sting...
Yes.
Let us know what you thought of it in the comments below. And you too can feel the strength welling within. See ya.
See ya.